Writing an unarmed combat scene in a military thriller is about making the reader feel every strike, every moment of desperation, and every calculated move. It's not about drawn-out brawls or flashy martial arts, it's about survival. In real combat, fights are over in seconds. The operative who hesitates loses. When I write a fight scene in the Covert-Ops series, I strip away the theatrics and focus on raw, brutal efficiency. Setting an environment, the fight starts before the first punch. Physical sensations, internal monologue, making the fight real for the reader. The best fight scenes don't just describe movements, they make the reader feel them. The crack of knuckles against bone. The sharp intake of breath as a strike lands. The sting of sweat and blood mixing. It's about engaging all the senses. Pain is inevitable. Even if Steve wins, he'll feel it. A well-placed punch leaves knuckles bruised and raw. A solid hit to the ribs makes breathing a challenge. Adrenaline dulls the pain in the moment, but when the fight is over, every injury resurfaces. The internal monologue keeps the tension tight. It's not about what Steve is doing, it's about what he's thinking. His mind stays tactical, analyzing every movement. He's fast, but I'm faster. He leads with his right, predictable. I sidestep, hook my arm around his, and twist. A sickening pop. He screams. No time to hesitate. I drive my knee into his ribs. He folds. Fight over. Short, clip thoughts mirror the intensity of the moment. No time for long reflections, just instincts, training, and action. Pacing sentence structure, keeping the adrenaline high. The rhythm of a fight scene matters. Short, sharp sentences create urgency. The fight should feel fast. Clean. Brutal. He swings. I duck. A fist whistles past my ear. Too close. My elbow smashes into his nose, wet, brittle crunch. He stumbles. I follow up. Boot to the knee. Snap. He collapses. Sentence fragments help mimic the adrenaline rush. A fight isn't a choreographed dance, it's unpredictable, chaotic. The writing should reflect that. When Steve lands a hit, the impact should be felt. When he takes a hit, the reader should wince. Long, flowing sentences slow things down. A fight isn't the time for that. Keep the tension high. Make every word count. Brutality, efficiency. Winning means surviving. A military thriller isn't about glorifying violence, it's about making it real. There's nothing clean about hand-to-hand combat. Even a quick fight leaves its mark. A trained operative doesn't fight for sport. He fights to end the threat. Every move is designed to neutralize the opponent as fast as possible. A throat strike crushes the windpipe. A stomp to the knee destroys balance. A joint break prevents retaliation. But not every opponent is easy to take down. A trained adversary will counter, reverse, and attack with just as much precision. In these cases, the fight is a chess match played in seconds. If Steve miscalculates, it could be the last mistake he makes. If an enemy grabs Steve in a chokehold, he doesn't struggle against their strength, he uses leverage. A sharp elbow to the ribs weakens their grip. A quick foot stomp shifts balance. Then he moves twisting free, countering with a disabling strike. Fights like these aren't about who's stronger. They're about who's smarter. Realism, consequences. No one walks away unscathed no matter how skilled Steve is. No fight leaves him untouched. Even a clean win takes its toll. Bruised ribs make every breath a chore. A swollen eye blurs vision. Hands shake from the rush of adrenaline. The aftermath is just as important as the fight itself. Blood pools in my mouth, metallic and thick. I spit. My knuckles throb, split open from the last punch. My ribs ache with every breath. No time to slow down. Another threat could be waiting. Realism matters. If Steve takes a hard hit, it affects him. If he's injured, it changes how he fights in the next scene. A broken rib limits movement. A dislocated shoulder weakens strikes. These details add authenticity and make the reader believe in the stakes. Why a great fight scene matters. A well-written fight scene isn't just about the action, it's about the experience. The best ones make the reader feel every moment. They should be breathless, heart-pounding, gripped by the tension. When I write a fight scene in the Covert-Ops series, I want the reader to be there seeing the sweat drip, hearing the impact, tasting the blood in the air. It's about immersion. The difference between a good thriller and a great one is making the action real. Want to master unarmed combat scenes in your military thriller? Use every setting to your advantage. Make every strike count. Keep your sentences tight, your pacing sharp, and your fights brutal. And most of all, make sure your readers feel it. A fight doesn't happen in a vacuum. The setting dictates the tactics. Is the confrontation in a narrow alley where movement is limited? A moving vehicle where inertia plays a role? A forest at night where visibility is compromised? Every location changes the dynamic. In a confined space like a corridor or a bathroom, a fighter can't rely on big, swinging punches or fancy kicks. There's no room. The fight becomes about close-quarters combat, elbows, knees, headbutts, and grappling. A wall isn't just an obstacle, it's a weapon. Slamming an opponent into it disorients them, buying precious seconds. In an open area, range matters. Distance control is key. A skilled operative stays just outside their opponent's reach, forcing them to overextend before countering with a decisive strike. If the ground is uneven, wet, or covered in debris, footing becomes a liability. One misstep and the fight is over. The environment also offers improvised weapons. A loose brick, a glass bottle, even a handful of dirt thrown in an opponent's eyes, all fair game. Combat isn't about honor, it's about survival. Fighting styles training level the difference between an operative and an amateur. An untrained fighter relies on instinct and brute strength. Wild punches, reckless aggression, no strategy. It might work against an equally untrained opponent, but against someone with military or Covert-Ops training, they're done before they realize the fight has begun. A trained operative fights efficiently. Every move has a purpose. No wasted energy, no showmanship. Explosive strikes, an elbow to the temple, a knee to the ribs, a throat punch cripple the opponent fast. Joint locks and breaks prevent them from fighting back. Dirty tactics like eye gouging, groin strikes, and headbutts ensure that even a stronger enemy goes down hard. Balance control is crucial. A trip, a sweep, or a well-timed push can take an opponent off their feet, and once they're down, the fight is over. A stomp to the knee or ribs ensures they won't be getting up anytime soon.